Hi, I'm going to spend 2 or 3 minutes now talking in outline about some of the ways that we can help people to improve their relationships. Now, in this context, I'm really talking about one-to-one personal relationships. And because it's so often people get together, and to start with, it's wonderful, and there's passion and excitement and romance, and everything's just perfect. And then as time goes by, they get a bit kind of stale, or they start little things that irritated a tiny bit to begin with seem to get blown out of all proportion. And sometimes people's relationships kind of get stuck in a kind of ever increasing spiral of resentment and anger and bitterness. And they bet that both people wish they could change it, but it doesn't seem that they can because the other person doesn't respond the way they want them to. So very often when I see couples, it's to get them to stop bitching at each other, get them to stop being so angry. They want to solve it, but they don't know how because they can't seem to connect with the magic they had to begin with. So what I do, several things. First and foremost, I begin to make it very easy for them to connect with the lovely feelings, the feelings of wonderment, that magic that they felt to start with. We use hypnosis for this, but basically it's just suggestion, or just rather training them to use their imagination in a more appropriate way. If you were to, for example, to vividly begin to remember those moments when you fell in love with your partner, even if it was months or many, many, many years ago, it doesn't really matter, but to close your eyes for a moment and imagine what it was like. Maybe it was the look on their face, maybe it was the smile or something they said, or just the way they moved. Some magic started happening and you knew something special is going on. Now, when you start to deliberately reconnect, deliberately remember those sorts of things, you'll begin to remind your neurology of what that feels like. Because in the same way that if you remember something funny, it will amuse you, or if you remember something really sad, you're likely to feel a bit sadder. When you deliberately start to recall times and places where you felt absolutely wonderful with your partner, you will begin to start to reconnect with some of that wonder. If you keep practicing this on a daily basis, then you'll begin to make that kind of feeling more automatic. So my work isn't really about sorting out the argument, resolving the dispute, so much as reconnecting people with the magic that they already know how to experience because they've experienced it many times. They just let life get in the way. They didn't do it deliberately. And when people start to reconnect with the wonder of each other, and the wonderment and the magic and the love and the laughter, then the little things that became big things become little things again, which is the way they should be. This, when combined with a host of other techniques, can radically bring the freshness and the life back into relationships that may have seemed on their last legs. And I love doing it with people. So it isn't just me. Any of my colleagues can help with this sort of thing. So do get in touch with us and we'll do our very best to help you as quickly as we can.